What's up, guys? My name is Caleb, and today I'm going to be giving you a spoiler review of Solo: A Star Wars Story. Now, like I said, and like the title suggests, this is a spoiler review, so there's going to be a ton of spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, click away now, go watch the movie, it's out now, and come back and watch this video. So without further ado, let's get on to the review. So my initial thoughts of the movie were really good. I did enjoy it quite a bit. It was one of the top favorite Star Wars movies. I don't really have an exact list though, but I really liked all the acting. The story was pretty good. It was a little predictable, but there were some plot twists in it that I didn't expect. But in the end, with a few surprises, it was generally pretty predictable. But it was a good movie nonetheless. The acting from Alden Ehrenreich, if I'm saying that right, was pretty good. It wasn't spot on, but it was good enough to not distract me from the movie. Like the whole time I wasn't thinking or comparing him to Han Solo. Like Harrison Ford, the actual actor that played Han Solo originally. And in general, I just accepted it. There were some others that did better, like Lando Calrissian, played by Donald Glover. He was really good. He did seem a lot more like Lando, just how he talked, how he acted and everything. He was super good. Chewbacca, I would probably say, was the best. I really enjoyed his performance, which I never thought I would really say that, just because he doesn't really say much and then he's in a costume, so I didn't really know how good someone in that role could be. But he's actually really good. The story development and the character development of that character, also with Han Solo, was really, really strong, and really enjoyed that. There were some other characters that I really liked, like Rio, the four-armed monkey alien. He was really funny. Sadly, he did die pretty early in the movie, so we didn't get to see too much of him, but when we did, it was really, really good. And all the other actors and all the other characters were really good. I wouldn't say they were too standout. I did like Dryden Voss. He was a pretty good villain, if you say. He's not exactly a villain, but he was the antagonist of the movie. But he was really good. I liked the actor that portrayed him. He did a really good job. Just overall, the acting was really good. So for character development, Han Solo's character obviously did have the most, but surprisingly, for me at least, we did get a lot with Chewbacca and Lando. There was a lot of character development there. Especially it was almost more a story about Chewbacca and Lando. I'm sorry, Chewbacca and Han Solo and how they met. And it was more of their story than I would even say just Han Solo's. So that kind of made it really good. There were a lot of details of how Han Solo got all his stuff. I didn't think it was too much. I didn't think it was too pushy, but they did explain a lot, like how he got the Falcon, why the Falcon looks the way it does when Han Solo gets it, where he got his blaster, where he gets his last name. Because at the beginning of the movie, his name is just Han. He's an orphan, although he does mention his father at some point in the movie, so I didn't really understand that completely. But supposedly he doesn't have anyone, he quotes in the movie. So there was just this Imperial officer that had to have a last name because he went into trying to get into the military. He had to have a last name, so it was kind of random and kind of weird how they gave him the name Solo because he doesn't have anyone. But to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. It kind of just rolled over your shoulder. It happened, and they didn't make too big of a deal of it, and then he just used the name throughout the movie, obviously. So I didn't think anything was really too pushy. And so for the visuals and sound and everything, obviously the graphics, just as always, are amazing in this movie. Any CGI, it wasn't too much, but when there was CGI, it looked like it was actually there. Like everything in the movie looked like a real place. Like all the places and the planets, which they showed a lot of. It was really, really cool. I liked the whole a world and environment development in the movie. Lots of costumes. I think I heard that this movie had by far the most costumes of any movie. and you could definitely tell because there were a ton of different costumes by characters and all that stuff with Enfys Nest and his gang. They had some really cool costumes and everything. The sound and everything was obviously awesome. The music was super good. They had the classic, like, Millennium Falcon music when the Millennium Falcon's flying in the original movies. If you remember what that sounds like, they used that music in the movie when they're using the Falcon to fly through the Kessel Run. So that was a really cool throwback of having some of the classic music mixed in with some of the newer one. So on the subject of the Kessel Run, that was a really cool sequence that I did not exactly know was going to happen. I thought I had heard it from somewheres that it was going to happen, but generally I tried to keep the movie completely non-spoiler for me so I could enjoy it completely without knowing anything about it. So they did show the Kessel Run. The whole reason behind the Kessel Run was to get this bounty for Dryden Voss, which is like the main antagonist of the movie, and they have to go there to get this like bounty for it, and they had to fly through the Kessel Run, but they had to take the shortcut, which is the one that's like 12 parsecs instead of 20, to get there in time, because whatever they were carrying, it was some sort of energy thing. It wasn't stable, so they only had a certain amount of time to get it to Dryden Voss so he could stabilize it. So they had to take a shortcut, which is how Han Solo got through the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Which in the movie they actually say it's 12 parsecs if you round down, which is kind of funny. But that was a really cool sequence. I'd say the biggest reveal of the movie, which was amazing and super unexpected, was Darth Maul showing up. Had no idea he was going to show up. It kind of almost made sense when he did, though, but there's still some questions I have about how he became the leader, because in the movie you see him, he is the leader of the whole Crimson Dawn, which is the gang or whatever of who Dryden Voss serves to. So like Darth Maul is the highest in that like crime syndicate. So that was super cool to see him on screen with like his metal legs and everything. And it was acted by Ray Park, if I believe, but the voice was Sam Witwer, which did the voice in the Clone Wars and in Star Wars Rebels. He always does an amazing job with Darth Maul's voice, so I think they just did a voiceover, and they only showed him in a hologram, so it didn't really look weird or out of place. I don't think they'll show him really too many more times, if ever again, in a movie like that, but it was a really cool moment when you got to see Darth Maul on the screen. It was a lot to process, but it was super cool. So my opinions on the movie, it was really good. I liked that it was more lighthearted than all the other movies that we've gotten. We've gotten just so much to like process with The Last Jedi and all the other movies. It was kind of nice to just have a fun, more laid back movie, even though the story wasn't necessarily the most deep story. It was still a pretty solid story, and it was nice to see the character development and the world building in this movie. So it was a nice fun movie that I would rank it above still a lot of other Star Wars movies. The only downside of it didn't have that deep connection and story that all the other movies do have. But again, this is kind of something new that we haven't gotten, so I'm excited to see what other movies are made like this that are just a little bit more laid back and a little bit more about character development and world building instead of just this whole huge large scale story like the galaxy is at stake basically. So it's kind of cool to see just a smaller scale movie. So that was my review on Solo: A Star Wars Story. Hope you guys enjoyed. My brother Joshua, he just came out with a non-spoiler review, so you should go check that out as well. And let us know what else you'd like to see us do with this channel. We just started up and we like doing Star Wars content, so just let us know what kind of videos y'all would like to see from us. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.